be familiar with the directions for taking the test. Um, uh, Part of taking this test is not simply a test of your knowledge. Part of it, where you can gain a real advantage, is learning exactly how the test is structured, how it is uh, prepared, how it is ordered. And just like so many things that you'll find as you apply to colleges, as you apply for jobs, as you may go on to graduate school and apply for better jobs, that sort of thing. It's a very useful skill, but it's one of the simplest skills in the world. When you look at this test, or you look at a job interview, or you look at an application, determine for yourself first, find out what is it that they are asking exactly. What are they asking you to do or tell them? And then, when you think you understand that clearly, then figure out the best way to tell them what they want to hear, or in this case, to answer the question. So now that you've both taken the test once already, you already have a good familiarity with the test, but you really should be very familiar with this test, because um, I don't want you to feel rushed for time at any point as you take the test. And the more familiar you are with the directions of the test and the way that it's organized and structured, the less time you will waste rereading these directions or everything that you already know. Just a quick question. Tetsu, for example, when I make these marks, these red marks with my pencil, can you see that on your computer screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, thanks. Um, so in English, you call this is a no-brainer. Be familiar with the directions for each different section of the test, because you want to be aware of exactly what they're asking for so that you can prepare for that. And you don't want to waste time or waste energy preparing information that is not necessary, or that they're not asking for. Um, so since you've taken the test, again, you're already becoming familiar with it. The directions are the same every single time. So you don't need to read them carefully when you take the test, because you're going to read them at least a few times over and over during the course of your studies with me and on your own. And so you won't need to spend that time reading it during the test. This will give you additional time to focus on your questions instead of reading the directions. And in that case, uh, again, it's one of my objectives in this course, is to help you to be relaxed and confident when you take the test, uh, by not feeling rushed by time, by realizing I'm familiar with this material, I know what I'm doing, I don't need to feel rushed or get nervous. When you get nervous, you make mistakes, you can forget things, and that's not going to happen to you, because you're going to be completely familiar with these directions when you take the test. So when you're taking this based on the computer, and just a quick question. When you both took the test, you took it on a computer-based system, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's the only way that it's given these days. So as soon as the directions come up, you should already be familiar with them from this course. So click Continue um, to dismiss, to get rid of the directions as soon as they pop up, because you don't need to read them over again. And this way you can use that time to spend on the actual material you need to cover in the test. This gives you a real advantage over someone who hasn't prepared, or the first time test taker, because they will use part of their time uh, reading the directions. You will already be familiar. So hit the continue button as soon as the directions pop up, and you can move right on to working on the questions. Okay, and so as I stated first, and I may sound like I'm repeating myself, and I am repeating myself, but you will thank me afterwards because I want this really to sink in and become uh, the way that you always address this. Read the question carefully so that you answer the very basic question in your mind. What do they want me to answer? What exactly is the information they want me to provide? And to understand that, you have to read the question carefully and make sure that you're not misunderstanding the question and answering it off here uh, with this information or over here with this information when what they want is over here. And then answer that question exactly as it is asked. So a simple way to think of this is find out what they want to hear and then tell them what they want to hear. This is very straightforward, but this is a very simple way to make sure that you get the grade that you're looking for. Is don't make it complicated. Uh, don't make it overcomplicated at all. The test is not trying to make you fail. Um, everybody wants you to succeed. So these aren't trick questions. They aren't made to be complicated. Um, Simply look at the question, what are they asking, and then answer it exactly the way they asked it. And this is your maximum opportunity to get the maximum score for that question. And here again is where taking your notes um, really is helpful. So even if you don't take notes now or you're not used to it, please try to get in the habit because you'll be provided with it's like laminated paper or depending on where you take it, actual paper as you take the test.